Welcome to a meeting of your Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Representing District 1, Harry Cohen. Representing District 2, Ken Hagan. Representing District 3, Gwen Myers. Representing District 4, Michael Owen. Representing District 5, Donna Cameron Cepeda. Representing District 6, Pat Kemp. Representing District 7, Joshua Wostel. The County Administrator is Bonnie Wise. The County Attorney is Christine Beck. Time is set aside at the beginning of each meeting for citizens to speak on any issue. So we have time for everyone. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes. Today's meeting is brought to you with closed captioning by Hillsborough Television.
Good morning and welcome to the October 4th, 2023, a regularly scheduled board meeting of the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Everyone please rise for the pledge and invocation given by our chaplain, Commissioner Cameron Cepeda.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning. We acknowledge you in all of our ways. We thank you for who you are and your great love for all people. And this morning, we really lift up a very special prayer for the Miller family. We pray for the family and friends of Jeffrey Miller, who lost his life in a car accident recently, who for 20 years served with Hillsborough County. And before that, he was a professional football player with the Packers and Washington. We pray for his wife, Tarsha Miller, and their sons, Jeff, Justin, and Justice. We pray for their family and friends during this time of grieving. We pray for the peace of God that passes all understanding to garrison and mount guard over their hearts and their minds. We thank you for that. And we just thank you for this meeting this morning, and we ask you to bless this meeting in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner Cameron Cepeda. Before Commissioner Myers presents our first proclamation this morning, Commissioner Cohen's participating virtually, so if we can have a roll call vote.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hagan?
Here.
Cameron Cepeda?
Here.
Cohen?
Here.
Kemp?
Here.
Myers?
Here.
Owen?
Here.
Wostel?
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Myers?
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chair. Today we have an award presentation. I would like to recognize that's Commissioner Hagan, sorry. Let me get to the right part of the script. Okay, I think it is me. It is my pleasure to honor our Hillsborough County youth for their shining examples of how young people can be leaders in addressing and eliminating bullying in their communities. I would like to invite Dr. Oliver Massey, Chair of the Hillsborough County Anti-Bullying Advisory Committee, to join me at the podium and tell us more about the Anti-Bullying Recognition Awards. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Listen, it's a real pleasure to be here representing the Hillsborough County Anti-Bullying Advisory Committee. Our role is really to help the Board of County Commissioners, who I appreciate their support, and Commissioner Myers' support for this important issue. Bullying is something that is pervasive in the community. It's pervasive in our schools, and of course, in recent years, cyberbullying has become even more of an issue. And so it's a real pleasure today to be able to introduce 2 sets of awardees in our annual Anti-Bullying Advisory Award This was established by the Board of County Commissioners. These are very deserving young people. I can't speak highly enough of them. And Commissioner Myers, I'll let you do the introduction.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Massey. This year, we are recognizing a third grade student and a group as our 2023 Anti-Bullying Recognition Award winners. With the following individuals, please join me at the podium. Blakely Stuntz and her parents, Doctors Natalie and Michael Stuntz, Jordan Smith from Men of Vision Incorporated, Owen Young, Chief of Family and Community Engagement for Hillsborough County Public Schools, and Sheriff Deputy Joseph Maurer from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Oh, let's show some love. Come on, it's okay. Good morning and welcome to you all. The Anti-Bullying Recognition Award goes to a young person or group of young people up to age 19 to highlight their efforts to eliminate bullying. This year's individual Anti-Bullying Recognition Award winner is Blakely Stuntz. She was nominated by her principal's secretary, Ms. Bonnie Walters, and also her mother, Dr. Natalie Stuntz. 8-year-old Blakely is in the 3rd grade and is a part of the academically gifted program at Tampa Palm Elementary School. As a student who was bullied in the past, she started the first anti-bullying club for students at her school. She was given support by the school to proceed and create a club flyer that was distributed to all students. Their response was fantastic. All 20 spots in the club were filled by the next day. The club met every other Monday for the last few months of school, and they discussed all issues or concerns related to bullying. In addition to making her own PowerPoint to advertise the club, Blakely created a worksheet containing examples of different situations where someone was being bullied, and the students discussed how they could intervene to help if they were ever in that situation. They also created individual Anti-Bullying Recognition Award to you, young lady, our future leader, Ms. Blakely Stuntz. Come on up, Blakely. I know you're going to want to share words with us.
I want to say thank you to my principal, my teachers, my mom, my dad, my brother, my other brother, my sister, and my entire club who helped me try to create unity and peace all over the school.
So right there. And this is yours, Blakely. Yes. Yes. Because of your leadership. And a 3rd grader? That's awesome. I'm going to ask her brother to come on up and just join the family. Yeah, he's very excited. That's right. Come on up. We're going to have additional comments. No, not with the family, mother, dad. Oh, you have to say something. You help Blakely. Come on, you have to say just a few words.
Yeah. I think, Blakely, you know we're very proud of you for having such a big heart and leadership skills, and I think those things together, you're going to do some big things. We're very proud of you. And we're thankful for this school. We love Tampa Palms Elementary that, you know, kids learn math and science and stuff, but she learned she can have an idea, people take her seriously, and she can make a difference. And I think that's something you don't learn at every school. So thank you to you guys, too.
And we appreciate Blakely for being so creative to make her own PowerPoint, and for the principals and others in the school to pay attention, because that says something. You're going somewhere, young lady. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next award is to Men of Vision Incorporated, and I would like to now present that award to the group. Anti-Bullying Recognition Award to the Men of Vision Incorporated. Come on up, Ross. And it is a service organization with a mission to prepare young men for life by presenting them with new ideas and opportunities and by encouraging the practice of responsibility and accountability for their futures. Each chapter provides a support structure for academic achievement and help teach life skills, participate in community service, and ensure that each young man develops and set into motion a vision for their future, the future of their community and the world. Their motto is, "Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world." Their organization is currently mentoring 105 young men at over 10 Hillsborough County public schools. For the last 5 years, Men of Vision has sponsored an anti-bullying and cyberbullying poster contest at each participating school, encouraging students to create posters and video clips to raise awareness. Along with the poster contest, students make video clips and pass out brochures at their monthly group meeting. Today, we recognize these young men and could not be prouder of their accomplishments and their examples in the community. We are also proud of their leaders for their ongoing support and mentorship of these young men. Congratulations to all. Ross, they didn't give me your name, young handsome man. What is your name?
My name is Jordan Smith.
All right, Mr. Jordan Smith. Okay, we'd like for you to speak, Mr. Smith.
Well, as I come here today with my fellow brothers and father figures in support of breast cancers with our pink ribbons and pink bow ties, I would like to say thank you for all of you for allowing us to be here today, because this wouldn't be possible without any of you. As I come here today as the president of Men of Vision, I would like to say, as a person and as a young man, I strive to be the best, and I strive to be accountable and responsible for my actions. And all of us at Men of Vision show respect, responsibility, and honor towards any young man that joins this organization. We do not support bullying, and we do not condone criminal violence of any sort. We at Men of Vision, we love to support our young brothers, and we come together as one, not as separated. Thank you.
You, and look at the camera right there. Okay, no. So, it's Owen, you representing from school board, Raymond, from the school district? Come on up, share a few words, then Men of Vision.
I'm Raymond Padgett, Department Manager of Partnership Engagement at the district level. I've worked with Mr. Anderson and Men of Vision 5-6 years since they've been in. It's not just the work that Mr. Anderson and the adults do. All of you from 3rd grade up, we learned during the Battle of the Belts contest with high school kids. Students listen to social media influencers, and they listen to their own peers. I'm a father of 3, former principal of 2 middle schools. Kids listen to each other a lot quicker than they listen to us. So you guys are doing some amazing work, all of you. That's it.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Sheriff Chad Conister, I want to thank Commissioner Myers and the rest of the Board of County Commissioners. This platform warms my heart and all of Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office to see Blakely and Men of Vision. You are pillars of the community. You are leaders. Bullying has no place in this community. And if we can just treat everybody with kindness and respect, we would not have any issues in the world and our community. And Blakely, you are doing that. You are making a difference. And Men of Vision, you are doing that. You are making a difference. A safer community is what we all strive to be, and we can't do it alone. It's partnerships with everybody. So thank you. I applaud you all. This is a very special, special moment for everybody in this Hillsborough community. So thank you all for all your work. Thank you.
Ross Anderson, Men of Vision.
I didn't want to say anything because it's all about the young men, and I just want to thank the board, Commissioner Myers, for this opportunity. But it's all about these young men, and this was the past president saw bullying at his school, and he came back and said, "What can we do?" And I said, "You tell me." And so with Jordan being the new overall president, saying we want to carry that legacy on and represent. So, and I'm proud of these young men that are here today. And again, it's all about them. Recognizing and they're our future leaders, and we have to pour into these young men, into this young lady. I'm proud of you as well, because that's what it's all about. It's not about us, and it's not about the awards that we get, but it's about recognizing these young folks in this room. So again, Commissioner, thank you for this. Thank you.
And we want to thank you because it takes volunteers to lead our youth for the day to be our future leaders. So thank you all for all that you do to make sure our future leaders are going somewhere. As we get older, we're going to need someone to take our places, even on the Board of County Commissioners. And we have two leaders right here standing next to me, and I applaud you all again for what you do for our community. Thank you so much. And now we're going to take pictures. So to break it up in groups. Get you, everyone, your principals from Tampa Palm, come on up. What is this? Oh, I didn't. Is that on here? Okay. Well, they tell me I have another. Thank you, my staff. Hold on one second. This is what you get when you don't pick up your script the day before. I looked at it this morning. So now I would like to recognize Eli Hewing. Is he here? Eli? Okay. From Wynwood Wealth Management, who will make a special presentation. Mr. Hewing is a sponsor of the Anti-Bullying Recognition Award. Mr. Hewing, you can present this too. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Here, take the podium.
All right. Good morning. My name's Eli Ewing. I'm a private wealth advisor and founding partner of Wynwood Wealth Management, which is private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial. But I'd really like to just take this second and thank Commissioner Myers, along with the entire Board of County Commissioners, for once again taking the time to recognize the Hillsborough County Anti-Bullying Advisory Committee. I get to show up once a year and talk about this, but they're devoted to this cause every single day. So thank you, and thank you to all the committee members that are here today. In my day job as a financial advisor, I try to educate people about options and choices, bringing different ideas and strategies to the table. That's what struck me about our winners in 2023. It was all about education and recognition. Our 2023 winners spend time every day educating the world around them by creating real-life scenarios. Like your worksheet was magnificent lately, to help people realize what's going on around them. And seeing and not saying, that's a problem too. Helping them practice to not be surprised when confronted with a bullying situation, to be the shield in someone's life, to step up and to step forward. So thank you all for your efforts. I'm humbled to be able to continue to support this award every year. Thank you very much.
Okay. We'll get a picture with you as well.
All right.
Okay, so now we'll do it first with the Stuntz family and the principals and the secretary from Tampa Palms. Come on. Do you have anyone else with you all? No. Okay. Come on back. Come on, Blake. It's cool.
Thank you, Commissioner Myers. Bonnie, want to review the changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have one item that has been deferred to October 18th. This is item A33, which is to approve a change order for the construction of the Keystone Park Community Center extension. We have one item that has been removed from consent for discussion or questions by Commissioner Kemp. This is item A15. This is to approve for a second time, pursuant to the requirements in the Rules of Order, the draft changes to the Board of County Commissioners Rules of Order as recommended by the Review Committee. We have several items for time certain. The first one is item D1 at 10 o'clock. This is to conduct a public hearing to accept the recommendations of the hearing officer and the Emergency Medical Planning Council to approve modifications to the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity issued to Pasco Pinellas Hillsborough Community Health Systems, doing business as Advent Health Wesley Chapel, to operate a total of 13 permitted ambulances. Also at 10 o'clock is item D2. This is to conduct a public hearing to accept the recommendation of the hearing officer and Emergency Medical Planning Council to approve the modifications to the Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity issued to Gallon Care, Inc., doing business as HCA Florida Brandon Hospital, to operate a total of 3 permitted ambulances. Item E1 at 10:15 is related to item G1. This is to receive a special appearance by Chuck Carden, General Manager of Tampa Bay Water, to provide an update on Tampa Bay Water and the long-term master plan. Item G1 related to item E1, also at 10:15, is to receive a report on PFAS in the county water supply. 11:45 is a recess for lunch. Those are the changes to the agenda.
We have a motion for the changes.
Move for approval.
Motion, Commissioner Myers, second, Commissioner Owen. Please record your vote on the changes to the agenda.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right, thank you. Going to the public comment portion of the agenda, the board welcomes comments from citizens about any issue or concern. Your opinions are valued in terms of providing valuable input to the board. However, it is requested at the same time you address the board that comments are not made directly at board members or staff, but rather the issues. The board has set aside 45 minutes for public comment this morning. The chair will call on speakers by name in the order in which the request to speak have been received. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly in the microphone. Up to 3 minutes will be given for each speaker. This morning, believe it or not, we only have 3 speakers, which is a first for a very long time. David Coleman is first, and then followed by virtual is Layla Lillyquist and Dr. Jim Davison. Good morning, Mr. Coleman.
Good morning, Dave Coleman from North Tampa. I'm here to ask for a county endorsement of the Florida Right to Clean Water Ballot Initiative. Today, our agenda includes A23 about damage to water lines, A42 about fines for odor issues, and an update on the water in A46. We in Hillsborough can only do so much. Florida is a peninsula. It's facing looming problems on many fronts locally. The recent New Orleans saltwater intrusion issue brought to my mind our Hillsborough efforts to avert such a thing here. Piney Point brought fish kills in as far as Bay Shore. We have lost grass in our bay. Our manatees suffer. The drought we are in has Tampa buying water from Tampa Bay Water last spring and again now. Fecal alerts from our aging pipes and sea level rise are ongoing. All local issues we deal with. What we can't fix is algae blooms causing red tide, fish kills in coastal communities, saltwater intrusion from the Gulf. A state DEP map of Polk shows a large area of contamination right through the center of their county. Water flows from north to south, so our rivers above and below ground are subject to contamination as far away as Georgia and South Carolina. Lake O vegetation is hit with pesticides and nitrogen runoff into it. It's nonstop. The state is working with us on some of these things. Just on last night's news, Swiftmud had Tampa Bay Water Authority issue a stage 1 water alert. Hooker Point has a state $37 million water loan to widen our waste pipes over there, although they have left our county EPA to monitor TECO's toxic bloom. We are surrounded on all sides with state water-wide issues. Where does the buck stop? It's not entirely on you. The state, though, is entirely responsible to do every reasonable thing in the face of major climate and environmental problems to make sure that when I daily fill my water bottle from my tap, when I catch a fish in our waters, and when I take a swim in a spring, I, you, and yours are safe. That's what the amendment asks, for the state to do every reasonable thing. So whether the amendment gains the needed signatures and lands on our ballot, whether we are on the on one side of the aisle or the other. A side note, the Democratic women doing petition signing at James B. Keel Library were getting more random people signing for clean water than any other petition. I am asking for our county to stand and let Tallahassee know that we are in this together, but statewide, the buck stops with them. Clean water is a human right. It's all our right. I spoke with the county attorney's office weeks back and gave them a heads up. They should be able to answer any concerns you may have. I have passed out a sample resolution to each of you and 2 copies of the amendment itself. So if this doesn't make the Hillsborough ballot, perhaps we can do something anyway from the county. Thank you for listening.
Next speaker is Layla Lilliquist, virtual.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Lilliquist did not check in.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Davison.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Hello? Yeah, this is Dr. Davison. I'm Dr. Davison from New Tampa, and I wish to congratulate the board on finishing their FY24 budget. This week starts the first week of that budget. I'm glad, I think you're all glad to be done with that. But this week starts the preparation for the FY25 budget. And I have a proposal to the board that has been used in several other counties to make their budgeting process easier. And that is the establishment of a citizens budget board. St. Lucie County has one, Brevard County has one. It has only upsides. There really isn't any downside to having a citizen budget board. To give you an idea of what the upsides could be, St. Lucie over the last 4 years has decreased their millage rate, aggregated millage rate, by 0.7 mils. It involves more citizen participation, makes the commission's job a whole lot easier, and the administrator's job a whole lot easier. So I hope that the board would direct staff to bring back a proposal on establishing such a citizens budget board. Also, I would ask the board's help. As a member of the Citizens Advisory Committee for the TPO, there seems to be large discrepancies between the estimated revenues that the county has told the board, just as of this past July, and what the county, as far as staff at the TPO says, they have been informed on what revenues would be available for the long-range transportation plan in 2050. If the board would just direct staff to get together with the TPO staff and put in writing what the exact revenue estimates they have that they presented to the board in the past, so that those can be used in the long-range transportation plan, we can all have a better plan and a better transportation system. I thank the board, and it's a beautiful day, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dr. Davison. That closes public comment portion of the agenda. Can we have a motion to approve consent?
Move for approval.
Motion, Commissioner Meyer, second Commissioner Kemp. With no comments, please record your vote on the consent agenda.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
I thank you. Bonnie, you want to introduce the first item?
Yes, the first item is item B1. This is the issuance by the Hillsborough County Housing Finance Authority of single-family mortgage revenue bonds. And Mary Helen Ferris will present this item. Cheryl Howell is also available for any questions.
Good morning, Board. Mary Helen Ferris with the County Attorney's Office. This item is requesting that the Board adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of single-family mortgage bonds at an amount not to exceed $300 million for the purpose of providing funds to eligible first-time home buyers to obtain loans to finance the purchase of approximately 1,200 loans. Additionally, if converted to mortgage credit certificates, the program would serve approximately 1,500 home buyers. Additionally, the HFA and the county's Affordable Housing Department have entered into agreement to help families with down payment assistance. The tax code requires that the board authorize this resolution.
Thank you. Commissioner Wostel?
Ms. Ferris, it says that the county on the last paragraph wouldn't be held liable in any way for the issuance of these bonds, but what happens if there's some type of default? Who would be liable?
That would go to the HFA, and the county doesn't have any liability in this. It's just a pass-through, similar to the Industrial Development Authority. The same thing, it's just a requirement by the IRS code that the board approve the issuance by the HFA, but there's no liability on the county's part.
And who's liable to the FHA then? HFA, who funds them? Who's ultimately liable? It's got to be somebody, right?
It would be the HFA and possibly the state, depending on what the issue is, but it would not be the county.
Okay, but ultimately then, if it's possibly the state, then ultimately the taxpayer would be liable if for some reason this didn't work. Have we ever funded a bond like this? I mean, $300 million is a lot of money.
It's been many years since we've done a single-family bond issue because the mortgage interest rate on the conventional mortgages were so low, it just wasn't financially feasible. It still may not be, so that's why the alternative is the mortgage certificate credit that would give the homeowner up to $2,000 in credit off of their taxes.
Okay, so it's only liable right now because the interest rates are above. I see it was like 7.125, so that's the only reason that we foresee it as an...
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, can we have a motion? Motion, Commissioner Kemp, second Commissioner Myers. No other comments. Please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. B2.
Thank you. The next item is item B2. This is an agreement between the county and Waste Connections of Florida relating to recycling. Damian Trammell with Solid Waste Department will present this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Damian Trammell, the Solid Waste Management Department Director. Item B is asking the board to approve an agreement between county and Waste Connections Service of Florida to extend the existing agreement for an additional 3 years, starting November 1st. The total estimated cost is $5.9 million annually for the first 3-year extension. Commissioners, I would also like to provide some background information and provide the state of recycling. Hillsborough County has one of the largest recycling programs in Florida, with a 67% weekly participation rate. We collect about 63,000 tons of recycling from our residents each year. Our current recycling contamination rate is below the state average. Recycling is one of the most effective means of preserving our landfill, which is the top priority due to how much it costs and how difficult it is to develop and construct a landfill. We entered into this agreement with Waste Connections in 2013. The term was for 7 years with one 3-year extension. We've exhausted our extensions. The cost to our customers to recycle is approximately $15 a year, which is about $1.25 a month. It's important to mention that if there was no recycling program, there would still be a cost to collect and dispose of these tons. However, we would lose the environmental and the landfill preservation benefits. Regarding our strategy long-term for recycling, we have identified 2 viable options that will provide stability, price control, and ultimately will bring about the best value for our customers. The first one is to develop a county-owned but privately operated recycling facility on county land. The second is to develop a long-term supply agreement with a private vendor at a negotiated rate. Our next steps: in order to maintain our recycling program for the next 3 years, we recommend approving the negotiated modification with Waste Connections. Waste Connections is the only viable recycling provider with adequate capacity who can meet the county operational needs. With that, I'm open for questions.
Thank you, Damon. Do you have any questions or comments? If not, Commissioner Owen.
And thank you for being here. And I'm glad you pointed out the impact on our landfill if we didn't have the recycling, because I know a lot of my constituents reached out to me to see if cutting recycling would have been a way to avoid some of the solid waste increases. But I think you pointed that out really well, that we would have paid that money back and then some on the cost associated with what our landfill would increase. So,
Yes.
yeah, so I appreciate you pointing that out, and I'll move for approval.
Okay, motion to approve, Commissioner Owen, second Commissioner Kemp. If no other comments, please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
Bonnie, next item.
Thanks. The next item is Commissioner Myers' item, item F1. This is relating to the sponsorship for the 2024 annual Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival and Music Fest.
Commissioner Myers?
Good morning, and thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm pleased to say that the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival is a 9-day event held here throughout the county, which generates about $11 million as an economic impact to us, and have over 10,000 people to come visit here during the week leading up to Martin Luther King event. So therefore, I approve that we move forward with item F1 in the amount of $125,000 for the annual Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival and Music Fest.
Second.
All right, we got a motion to approve, Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Kemp. And Bonnie, I know I asked you this. This funding was approved in our budget. All
Yes,
right.
this is in the budget, as well as the next item is
Okay.
in the budget too.
All right, thank you. No comments, please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
F2.
Thank you. F2 is also Commissioner Myers' item regarding the United Bikerz Jamboree.
Commissioner Myers.
And thank you, Mr. Chair. For those of us who have a motorcycle and enjoy the Memorial Weekend and riding and all the way out to the fairground out in Dover, I did not know until last year we had a fairground out in Dover. Just go straight out 6 and hook a left. You're right at our fairground. But the United Bikers, they bring at least 7,000 bikers here every year to support, and their economic impact is about $8 million to our county, including the room nights that these individuals come on their motorcycles and have a wonderful time here in our county. And with that being said, I'm going to ask if we can go ahead and approve, but before we do that, I need to make a correction that the amount should be $60,000 instead of $50,000. Am I correct, Ms. Wise?
Yes, the amount in the budget is actually $60,000.
Okay.
Okay, we got a motion to
Second.
approve, Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Kemp. Commissioner Owen?
Yes, I'm a Harley guy myself, so I guess I want to just make sure and clarify, these are sponsorships, correct? So this means that we as Hillsborough County, we become one of their sponsors, keynote sponsors.
Yes.
This is separate from like
The
a flag. These are
not-
separate from flag items though, because these are considered a sponsorship.
It could have been a flag, but
Okay.
it is under a sponsorship policy.
Under a sponsorship.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, no comments, please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
All right, thank you.
Commissioners, if you're in, oh, so sorry.
Well, I'm going to try to get my nerves up, Commissioner Kemp, to get on one.
All right, Bonnie.
Okay, Commissioners, if you are inclined, we could waive the rules and hear Chuck Carden. He is here for the 10:15 presentation for item E1. If you could waive the rules
Can we
to
have a
take that
motion
early.
to waive the rules?
So
Move for second.
Motion Commissioner Owen, second Commissioner Myers on waiving the rules. Please record your vote.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carried 7-0.
So the next item will be item E1. This is a presentation by Chuck Carden, the General Manager of Tampa Bay Water, to provide an update on Tampa Bay Water. And this is related to item G1, which we will hear afterwards.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me today to give you a brief update on our agency's activities. I'm Chuck Carden. I'm the General Manager of Tampa Bay Water, which is your regional water supply wholesaler. We were created 25 years ago by you and 5 other governments to serve and build innovative alternative water supply sources to meet the region's needs. We have the unequivocal obligation to supply all of the water our member governments need. Our members include your county, Pasco, Pinellas, the cities of Newport Richey, St. Petersburg, and the city of Tampa. Tampa's membership is unique in that they are allowed to self-supply up to 82 million gallons a day from their existing surface water treatment system. Any water above the 82 million gallons a day is supplied by Tampa Bay Water. One of our main goals when we were created was to reduce groundwater pumping so the environment could recover. And we've done that. Here's how we are currently meeting your drinking water needs. We have a very diverse and flexible water supply system that uses groundwater, river water, and desalinated seawater. Prior to 1998, we were 100% groundwater, and now the ratio is 60% groundwater and 40% surface and desal. Our current budgeted supply is around 198 million gallons a day, and that does not include the 82 million gallons a day for the city of Tampa. And our wholesale rate that we charge all the members the same is $2.60 per 1,000 gallons. And I'm sure you're very aware of our members' growth. Hillsborough County and Pasco County are the fastest growing counties, and Hillsborough County is currently our largest customer. It takes 40% of the water. We are currently working with your staff to develop additional pumping and transmission pipeline capacity to increase supply to the southern Hillsborough County area. The facilities include a new booster pump station that will increase our capacity by at least 5 million gallons a day, maybe up to 7. We're also working with the county on a new pipeline that will deliver up to an additional 65 million gallons a day of water supply. And also, we're working on a new supply well to deliver an average of 2.3 million gallons a day. But it's also important to save and try to offset these costs by conservation. So we have an incentive-based rebate program called the Tampa Bay WaterWise program. The rebate program is designed to save up to 4 million gallons a day by the year 2030. But the demand management isn't enough by itself. We also need to add new water supply to meet the region's future needs. This chart shows our current planning horizon. The gray line is the member government demands, and the red line represents the trigger for us to expand our system. Right now, we are expanding our existing surface water treatment plant to meet the demands in the 2028 timeframe, and that's the first step up you see on the red line. The next water supply is anticipated to be needed by the year 2033. We estimate that we will need an additional 10 to 20 million gallons a day by that time. Our planning process starts with what we call the long-term master water plan, and it looks at demands, growth, and a variety of supply options. We update the plan every 5 years, and we look out 20 years as our planning horizon. Options are analyzed and screened down to a recommended shortlist that goes into the feasibility phase. Once the feasibility studies are completed, the board is then asked to vote on projects to move into the design and construction to meet the future demands, which is the 2033 timeframe. We are currently working on the first step. We are down to a short list of projects that we are going to be recommending for the feasibility studies. And here are the 7 feasibility of shortlisted project concepts that we are introducing to our board. These projects represent a diversity in location and also a source of supply and having different yields and initial project cost. You'll see that the options range from additional surface water to expanding the desal plant to exploring the use of additional groundwater through new well fields or through the existing consolidated permit. Option G should look very familiar to you. It is the project that uses the benefit of credits from the injection of reclaimed water, the SHARP project, to offset freshwater withdrawals inland. These are the shortlisted projects that we will be recommending to our board that will move into the feasibility phase, and we expect that vote to occur in November. In addition to the projects that we just listed in the feasibility studies, We are also evaluating potential potable reuse projects for future consideration. We call those development alternative projects. These are projects that require longer feasibility studies, additional investigation, or the need for regulations to be implemented. Right now, we know that the City of Tampa, Hillsborough County, and Pinellas County have excess reclaimed water that could be used for either direct or indirect reuse projects into the future. And I'd like to finish by highlighting some of our water quality efforts. The water we provide to our members continues to meet all federal, state, and local standards. We recently completed a water quality study that looks at removing total organic carbon, which can provide your utility greater operational control. And the study revealed that the treatment of the total organic carbon removal can also be used for other contaminants of emerging concern, such as the per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS for short. PFAS has been in the news nationally, and I want to spend a few minutes on the subject. PFAS does not originate in water supplies. When products like the ones you see here on the graph are used and discarded, they can release PFAS into the environment, which includes drinking water sources. Tampa Bay Water and the member governments began testing for PFAS as part of the Environmental Protection Agency study this year to find out if unregulated PFAS are present in our drinking water and at what levels. The current study calls for 12 months of testing, and Tampa Bay Water and the member governments will sample each quarter, and our first sampling event has been completed. We did that in July. In the regional system, 2 locations were reported with 1 compound PFAS slightly above the EPA's proposed limit of 4 parts per trillion, as shown in the orange in this table. All other sample locations were less than the EPA's proposed limit or not detected. And once we have the EPA's final regulations that are expected early next year and the data from the EPA study, we will determine if there's any treatment recommendations to our board if needed. And with that, I would thank you for allowing me the opportunity to update you on the plans from the agency. I know Commissioner Woostel and Commissioner Cohen serve as your representatives. They do a fine job. And I know in the past, Commissioner Kemp and Commissioner Hagan also served. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the presentation. Commissioner Kemp?
Yes, I'd like to thank you for the presentation, too, and a few things about it were very surprising. And I just wondered, I have several questions, actually. In that short list of possible projects, can one project serve the need, or will it take a combination of those projects?
One could, but right now we're probably looking at the yields being smaller, that it'll be a couple projects. They'll be configured together. But that is what the feasibility studies will determine. What yields can we actually get from each of the projects?
And also, I think, we're hearing more and more about PFAS and forever chemicals in our water, in our bodies. And to see that wheel there, just to see some things that, I don't know, you don't think about very much. Candy wrappers, pizza boxes, shampoo, and dental floss. Are those products being changed? They're so small in capacity. Do they have did you put them in there because they have a larger impact than we might expect?
No, just to give you a realm of everything we do around our lives had it. What my understanding is the big manufacturers who produce this are not producing it anymore, but it's already out there. And again, you called them forever chemicals. They do not go away with time, other than being taken out in a treatment.
And if I could just see the picture again of the two, you showed the different sources, and there were 2 places in Hillsborough County where the PFAS levels exceeded 4 parts per million.
Yes, ma'am.
if I could just see that again. I just want to ask you about those.
I have it up on my screen. There it is.
Okay, there we go. The two that we see, and some of them aren't yet determined, correct? I mean, we have some that we don't know yet. But in terms of those, are there special sources that are making those higher than other places? Do we know that? Is that being pursued? What's going on with that?
We don't know that yet. This is the first quarter sampling, so we're going to be doing the next sampling in October, and then all the way two more quarters and average them together to see. So we don't know what seasonality may be doing. But what you're seeing here, the two sites that are just slightly above the proposed limit, surface water treatment plant, the surface waters is producing a majority of that water for that. And so we take water from the Tampa Bypass Canal, which has lots of inputs in it from everywhere. The city of Tampa has a surface water treatment plant that is just a couple miles down the road. They are seeing almost the exact same levels, right around the 4 parts from their surface water treatment plant.
And I guess a total organic carbon type of plant that you're talking about that might be possible in the future, that sounds kind of like the miracle everybody wants, to have totally get rid of all the possible harmful elements in the water. Is that the plant that's now being used at Lake Mary? Is that the same thing that they're trying out and testing?
I don't want to say I know that exactly. I know in North Carolina they're using GACs, granular activated carbon, is one of the treatments that we're providing for the TOC, as well as ion exchange. And they work on the TOC removal, and they also work on removal of PFAS. And so that's an added benefit. We started on the TOC removal at the request of the member utility directors, helping them out. And we got down the line and figured out where we could put treatment plants and how much, and using GAC and the ion exchange, and then the PFAS. And it just so happened the PFAS uses the same treatment. So there's a good combination. You don't have to go out and do 2 different types of treatment. So that's the treatment we're looking at. Of course, there's reverse osmosis. That is out there. We do have a plant that does that at the seawater down in Apollo Beach. That's also a very tried and true treatment process to take out everything.
And I just have one more question. Yesterday, when I was out, it flashed up on the screen a story with Tampa Bay Water, and I could see the captioning, but I couldn't hear it, about the drought conditions, which I assume we are in, that we've had less waterfall. Can you just give the general update kind of on what it looks like?
I appreciate that. That's exactly the point, is to get the word out. We do have a water shortage mitigation plan at Tampa Bay Water. The board's approved since back in 2017, has triggers. And it basically, rainfall deficits, the storage of our reservoir, if it's at a certain level, and stream flows. And so these triggers will take you into different phases. So when October got here, the rainfall deficit reached 8.3 inches below normal for the 12 months running average. And one of the triggers to go to phase 1 was anything above 5 inches. So that triggered it. And phase 1 is to get out there proactively ahead of time to spread the word that we need to alert you that there's a drought condition just starting from phase 0 and went to phase 1. It could progress to phase 2, 3, and 4. We hope that it doesn't, but take measures now so that we do not go to these other stages and get triggered. We currently have lots of water in the reservoir, which is a good thing, 14 billion gallons, and it can hold up to 15 billion gallons. The stream flows are doing well. It's just the rainfall deficit triggered this. But it's a good way of getting the word out to folks to conserve water, know your watering days, and don't be wasteful.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Worstel.
Thank you, Mr. Carden. It's been a real pleasure to work with you on the Tampa Bay Water Board the past year, where everybody seems to be disagreeing. We all seem to agree that everyone needs water, so it's one pleasant aspect of the job. Just in terms of PFAS, our Chief Science Officer, Mr. Hogg, I covered this in our last Tampa Bay Water meeting. I believe it was covered in our report to the other commissioners, but I asked him very directly, and we cleared up that there's absolutely no reason to panic about PFAS. We are doing much better than other areas throughout the nation. We're well below standards. Cooler, calmer leadership heads need to prevail here. There's no reason to get people unnecessarily riled up. We're perfectly fine on PFAS levels. That's about what he said, correct?
Yes, that's a great way to couch it and summarize it. We have actually knew this was coming. EPA was going to have the testing, and they're going to regulate it. It's not really a regulated compound at this time. We got together with our members and decided to work together, coordinating a message, a communications to everybody a year ago. Met quite a bit to have the same message out there, to inform folks, but also don't run from it. We're going to get ahead of it and talk to people, tell them what this is and what we're doing. You can see the numbers. They're real close to what EPA is thinking about making them, the 4 parts per trillion. So only in 2 spots. So I believe we're in good shape to handle this. There's other areas, I don't know the numbers, but there's other areas that have a lot higher numbers in different states. So we're in good shapes to handle this. Of course, I'd like to see non-detects on everything, but we're doing well on where we're at with this.
That's wonderful news. The only other item that occurs to me, it's something I'd actually heard on my campaign trail, and I didn't believe it at first. It was from some folks in Town and Country, but I've since verified it working with you, and it's something that this board should probably consider taking up, is that there is actually a significant portion of folks that live outside of the city of Tampa. You mentioned that they provide a certain amount, that they're uniquely allowed to provide a certain amount of water, but there's actually a significant portion of folks that live in the unincorporated area that are forced to pay the significantly higher City of Tampa water rates. And I know that there's a decent amount in Town and Country, and I think that there's evidently a state statute that for some reason allows that, but at a minimum I would probably look for the board to start advocating, and especially in times of crushing inflation, that we look forward to some sort of statute solution that doesn't allow it for a continued period. They don't get the alleged benefits of living in the city of Tampa, but they do get the benefit of paying a much higher water rate, and that's probably something I would look forward to us addressing in the future. And I thank you so much for coming here today, sir. Very helpful.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, Commissioner Wostel, I felt that pain at my last home for several years, probably 15 years. We were on City of Tampa water, and I can remember specifically when the City Council voted to allow that. Again, I'm going back 15, 18 years, so if there's anything we can do to improve that situation, I would be fully supportive. Commissioner Kemp?
Yes, just in terms of that situation, as I understand, it doesn't just exist in Town and Country. I didn't even know about the existence in Town and Country, but I believe it exists in the university area, and it's also been some issue in Palm River. I'm imagining Mr. Cassidy might be able to, or someone else might be able to answer this better, but it's also a kind of where they allowed it where and somebody else should address this obviously, but where the City of Tampa had a water system in place and then the county expanded. I think it would be better to have someone else, but because I've asked about this before, and I appreciate you asking about it, because I do think it's, I was asking because I wanted to see the county provide that water so people in those areas didn't pay a premium while they lived in the county.
Good morning, Commissioners. George Cassidy, Public Utilities. And so, yes, there's an area that exists outside the city limits in the unincorporated area. We refer to that as the interlocal area, where Tampa years ago was authorized to provide services. We're talking 50, 60 years ago. It was way before the county had an ability to serve a growing community. So we allowed that to happen through an interlocal agreement. I'll tell you that our system is certainly robust, as robust, if not larger than the city of Tampa's now. And we are looking at the Palm River area as a portion of that interlocal area that we're going to purchase back from the city. We're going to purchase their infrastructure, purchase that service area right back, and it'll become part of our service area. Town and Country, certainly there's an entire bandwidth around the city of Tampa city limits that is the interlocal area. It's pretty significant.
And Lake Magdalene.
And Lake Magdalene as well. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, Mr. Chair. So we would propose that over the next 10 to 20 years, we would look at a systematic ability to contract that interlocal area and bring it back in under Hillsborough County's service area.
Can I ask another?
Sure.
Also, the university area is part of that. And are there any other areas that we're not familiar with here that are, I just imagine they would skirt the city of Tampa?
I think the best image I could provide you is just imagine the city limit, and it extends beyond the city limit, some distance, depending on where you are, all the way around.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bonnie, does staff need to add anything on G1?
Commissioner Hagan, I have my hand up.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Cohen?
I'm sorry, she can go ahead and answer your question. I just wanted to be called on after.
Okay.
Yes, staff does have a little bit to add specifically related to Hillsborough County very briefly.
Okay.
I just wanted to say a couple of things about Tampa Bay Water. First of all, the biggest challenge that Tampa Bay Water has had in the past 2 or 3 years has been to deal with the tremendous growth in South County and the additional need for more water resources. And they have really worked very, very hard to cooperate with us in every way to try to make sure that they can meet our demands through the period when the new sources will come online. They have been really aggressive in increasing our permitted capacity, in adding new pumps that provide additional water until we get to 2028 when the new sources will come online. The second thing that they've done that's really been very cooperative was when we looked at the map of where the new pipeline is going to be built, Tampa Bay Water had a different proposal for where that pipeline was going to go than Hillsborough County did. And they ultimately decided to follow what we wanted to do as opposed to their original plan. And it was because we explained to them what our reasoning was, and the member governments were very supportive of us being able to be driving that train rather than just riding it. And Chuck Carden has been an integral part of making sure that that cooperation has existed, and I wanted the whole board to know that, because that has not always been the case at Tampa Bay Water. And as Commissioner Wastel said earlier, it really is unique that everybody gets along, not just gets along well, but really has the same goal in mind, and that is to make sure that everybody, regardless of where they live in the region, has access to water, good clean water.
Thank you, Commissioner Cohen. Well stated. Staff want to add something?
Thank you.
So Lisa Ray, Director of Water Resources. I do have a couple of the slides that I put together that I am going to highlight. Many of the items that I was covering were already covered by Mr. Carden, so I'm just going to fly over a few of them that you have in the information that was provided to you. I do want to start by just letting you know that the sampling we are currently doing is not because of PFAS. EPA has what is called the Unregulated Contaminant Monitoring Rule, UCMR, and we are in UCMR 5. This is the 5th round. EPA requires that we monitor up to, sometimes more, 30 chemicals every 5 years. And these are chemicals that are not currently part of our Safe Drinking Water Act. So we're in our 5th round of this. It started back in the 90s. PFAS has been monitored before. It was monitored in 2013. However, because the technology and the sampling mechanisms and testing mechanisms have improved, they're wanting to monitor it again. At that point in 2013, we were non-detect throughout the state of Florida for the most part. So that is why this is coming back again. Technology has improved. They want to double check it. So I do want to emphasize this is not because of PFAS, this monitoring. This is an ongoing regulatory requirement. That being said, We do receive water from the City of Tampa to some of our service areas, as well as from Tampa Bay Water. So what we have been doing with the City of Tampa and with Tampa Bay Water is coordinating our sampling requirements with theirs so that we're testing the same water at the same time. So what you're seeing here on this graphic is our test results. What Mr. Carden shared was the results from Tampa Bay Water. And we're doing this double testing as a verification. Because the test is so sensitive, if somebody has used a product, worn a raincoat, or that has PFAS, when they're collecting the sample, you can get a false positive. So we are wanting to make sure that we are doing like a double blind in a sense. So if you look at the results here, you can see that we have several of the locations from our sampling that came in with the same results as Tampa Bay Water. When I put the slide together, we had not received our results from Lithia. The results we received from Lithia came in as non-detect. So we just got those earlier this week, like I think Monday afternoon they arrived. The couple locations, Pebble Creek is a City of Tampa water supply. And the same is true with Seaboard. Those are supplied by Tampa Bay Water. So those would not have been in, not Tampa Bay, I'm so sorry, City of Tampa. So those would not have been in the Tampa Bay Water results. But you do see them here. And again, they're coming in as a combination of non-detects and of some values. So this is a year-round sampling to capture seasonality in our water. Generally, the regulations that EPA will propose are going to be based on annual averages. So you would take all of the numbers and average them together. They're not based on single samples. Do want to emphasize that we are monitoring what EPA is doing, any rules and regulations that come out of this. At this time, there are no rules and regulations associated with PFAS and PFOAs and such. According to the current regulations, our water meets and exceeds all federal and state requirements. And we do annually publish our Consumer Confidence Report, which explains all of the testing that has been done to our water supply, and it is available and emailed to all of our residents, as well as out there for whoever wants to look at it on our website. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Owen?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And George, could I borrow you real quick, or did George leave? And I want to thank everyone for their presentation today, and especially a lot of the focus on South County, where I deal with those problems every day. As to the pipeline, George, what I would ask, and I want to commend you for doing a good job with this recently, is real good communication with our agriculture communities. It really can be disruptive to our agriculture communities, especially during certain times of year, and where there may be a position where we actually own the property. It's along an improved or unimproved road where we can actually make positive changes to. I would really ask that we continue to communicate, and just want to thank you for reaching out to our ag folks, because it means a lot to them. So
Thank you,
thanks.
Commissioner. Thank you.
All right, can we have a motion just to receive the PFAS report?
Move for approval.
Motion, Commissioner Meyer, second Commissioner Kemp. Please record your vote.
Commissioner
Aye.
Cohen?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carried 7-0.
All right, thank you. Bonnie?
Thank you. We
public
can now
hearings?
move to our first public hearing. This is item D1. This is to approve the Advent Health Wesley Chapel to operate 13 permitted ambulances. This is a public hearing. Aubrey Arnold with Healthcare Services is here to present this item and also item D2.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Aubrey Arnold. I'm the Ryan White Grants Manager with Healthcare Services. I'm here this morning on behalf of our Director, Mr. Gene Early. So the two public hearing items we have, items D1 and D2, the first one that I wanted to summarize for you, the Pasco Pinellas Hillsborough Community Health System Incorporated, doing business as Advent Health Wesley Chapel, simply known as Advent Health, currently holds a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, also known as a COPCN, allowing Advent Health to operate 4 ambulances to transfer patients primarily to and from hospital facilities owned or operated by Advent Health Wesley Chapel. Advent Health is requesting a modification to that COPCN to add 9 additional ambulances for a total of 13 for the primary purpose of transferring patients between facilities operated under Advent Health, not just Advent Health Wesley Chapel. Following established procedures, the application was referred to a hearing officer to conduct a public hearing and consider the merits of the application in promoting public convenience and necessity. The hearing officer's report and recommendation was then reviewed and considered by the Emergency Medical Planning Council, or the EMPC. Both the hearing officer and EMPC concur and recommend approval of Advent Health's application. The final step is for the board to hold its own public hearing, consider the hearing officer and EMPC recommendations, and make final determination on the application. This item has no financial impact, and this is a public hearing, and I believe we have representatives here this morning from Advent Health who are signed up to speak.
All right, thank you, sir. We have 2 individuals that have signed up, Brett Vandeman, I believe, and Sherry Soderville. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Brett Van Diemen. I am the Clinical Manager of Advent Health there in Wesley Chapel. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Sherry Sortable, and I manage the finances of our EMS transport out of Advent Health, and I also am here to answer any questions that you might have today.
All right, thank you. Anyone else like to speak to this item? If not, we'll close the public comment portion. If we have a motion.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Myers, second Commissioner Owen. If no other comments, please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
D2?
Yes, we have item D2, which involves Galen Care Incorporated, doing business as HCA Florida Brandon Hospital, simply known as Brandon Hospital. They currently hold a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity, or a COPCN, allowing Brandon Hospital to operate 2 ambulances for the purpose of providing patient transportation between any facility owned or operated by Brandon Hospital. Brandon Hospital is requesting a modification to that COPCN to add 1 additional ambulance for a total of 3 for the primary purpose of transferring patients between facilities operated under HCA Healthcare, not just Brandon Hospital. Following established procedures, the application was referred to a hearing officer to conduct a public hearing and consider the merits of the application in promoting public convenience and necessity. The hearing officer's report and recommendation was then reviewed and considered by the Emergency Medical Planning Council, again, or the EMPC. Both the hearing officer and EMPC concur and recommend approval of Brandon Hospital's application. The final step is for the board to hold its own public hearing, consider the hearing officer and EMPC recommendations, and make final determination on the application. This item has no financial impact, and this is a public hearing, and I believe we also have representatives this morning from Brandon Hospital who are signed up to speak.
All right, thank you, sir. We have 1 individual that have signed up, Robert Capish. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioners and staff. We want to take a moment to thank you for the review of our COPCN application that is before you today. My name is Robert Capish, the EMS Director for HCA Florida Healthcare for the hospitals in Hillsborough County. After receiving county approval in 2022, HCA Florida Brandon Hospital was able to successfully launch our interfacility transfer program in January of this year. Year to date, we have already seen and transported more than 2,000 patients between our 5 freestanding emergency rooms. Following the success of this transport we've already seen, we come before the Commission today to modify our COPCN and add additional permit to serve our patients in Hillsborough County. And I'm here for any other further questions.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else want to speak to this item? If not, we'll close public comment.
Move for approval.
Got a motion to approve, Commissioner Owen, second Commissioner Myers. No comments, please record your vote.
Aye.
Motion carried 7-0.
Bonnie.
Thank you. The next item is future discussion items, and after that, we will take item A15 that was pulled from consent.
Okay. Any board members have any future issues? Commissioner Owen?
Yes, I have two, Mr. Chairman. May I do them both back to back?
Yes, sir.
The first one, as many of you may know, Commissioners, we had another tragedy accident in my district where a family was driving over some railroad tracks off Jim Leffler Road in Plant City, and unfortunately, a majority of a family and 2 other members lost their lives. So it's really kind of rocked the community of Plant City. And it had me thinking when I've been dealing with staff, and I want to thank staff for all their hard work on helping me so far. When you look at these passive intersections at railroad tracks, well, first I want to add that someone is operating what looks like a venue there that's zoned agriculture. So I know that we've already sent a notice of violations to the property owner, but I understand how this is, you're dealing with federal and state laws here when you're talking about railroad tracks, but to me, just having a stop sign and no gate, there's no blinking light at 19 of these intersections. I wonder what we can do as a political body to provide more safety measures. So my future item is, what authority do we have to impose an ordinance or land development code amendment governing railroad street crossings? This includes public and private roads and should address federal or state laws which may preempt our ability to require safety standards.
You get that, Bonnie?
And my second one deals with,
Can I just,
I'm sorry? Oh, yes.
just for once, just add
It's
one
not really
thing?
board discussion, but okay.
I just wondered if we could include on that, just know where all the crossings are anywhere in the county.
Yeah, we can include that. They're already, staff has already been working on that. But yeah, if you want to include that, but staff has already been working on that. Thank you. Lastly, in Walden Lake, which is a community in Plant City, it's a bedroom community. The Live Local Act is kind of struck out there in the city of Plant City. And I would like us to, well, I'll just state my future item. Is the Walden Lake community in Plant City, where the application is applied for the development under Live Local Act, in violation of the act? I'm not asking for any type of report whether or not this proposed development is approvable under the Live Local Act through our legal counsel, and dealing directly with Bill McDaniel, the city manager of Plant City. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Wolstel?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would request that county staff provide our offices an aging financial report of funds within the CIP to include the year that monies were deposited towards a project, the name of that project, the percent funded of the project, and the funding source of the monies deposited towards that project. I would like that report back by the December 6th, 2023 Board of County Commissioners meeting.
We good?
I think so.
All right.
Yes.
Any other items? If not, Bonnie, we have the consent item.
Yes, we have one item that was pulled by Commissioner Kemp. This is item A15 relating to your rules of order.
Commissioner Kemp?
Thank you. I know it was a quite long discussion one time. I just have one point about this. I have one motion to amend the proposal in what is Rule 5. This is about the annual organizational meeting. I'm seeking to take out just one clause. I think the discussion was very confusing the last time, so I'm going to give it one more shot here. My motion concerns the final sentence of the new language the board is adding. And I think my aide, Laura Lawson, there she is, I hadn't seen her, is here to put this on the Elmo, and you can see the new language. The new proposed language is inside the green brackets. have to turn it. So that's the new language that is being added. My motion seeks to remove the language just between the blue with underlined in blue, that little small part of that. And that new language just describes how we've been doing it, at least since I've been on the board, on a regular basis. The proposed rule lays out the round-robin process that we use at the organizational meeting to appoint members to the county commission to seats on various boards and councils after an election, as we just did in November. My change, that little teeny statement there, underlined in blue, my change relates to non-election years. When there are no new commissioners, like this year, in the past, the boards often decided to keep all the board members in their existing appointments. The new language about this non-election year process coming up states, however, if the members of the board remain the same as the prior year, a motion may be made by any commissioner to keep the same commissioner representatives on each board, agency, or authority. And then that underlined in blue, excluding those boards, agencies, and authorities on which a majority of the board sits, without following the clerk's, and that's just that little phrase, and then it ends, and that can be kept in without following the clerk's organizational assignment process. So notice the language in the next to last clause, excluding the boards, agencies, and authorities on which the board sits. I'm told this language refers to two boards, TPO and HART, which include multiple commissioner appointments. It seems to me that if we're going to keep the assignments already agreed to and worked out by the newly elected board through the round-robin process in the year right at election that we just did, we shouldn't exclude the appointments with multiple commissioners. Removing this language would preserve the status quo as to all commissioner appointments. This is consistent with what we've done in the past. So my motion, which only applies again to non-election year appointments, is to move to amend the proposal for Rule 5 to delete the language there at the end, underlined in blue, excluding those boards, agencies, and authorities on which a majority of the board sits. That's my motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Kemp. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Cohen. Commissioner Wostel.
I would like to, we've already voted on and agreed to this and debated it. Another option that would prevent this concern at all is that, in fact, as many commissioners that sit on those boards, and Chair, you're often deferred to as the expert since you've been here so long, that we don't have to have this many commissioners on these boards, right? In fact, it was past commissioners that made motions to make it to where it is more commissioners rather than appointees. Is that not correct?
I believe so, but I think there was always a concern or desire, I guess is the right word, for the county to have more representation than the city. Now, again, that could, I guess that in theory could be appointee or elected, but I think there's been that desire to always have a higher representation because unincorporated has more people than the city. So it makes sense, but I guess in theory, it could be appointed.
And for that reason, I will make a substitute main motion to approve the recommended policy that is in the agenda.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the agenda item. Substitute motion by Commissioner Wostel. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Owen. So no other comments?
I have
Commissioner
my hand
Cohen.
up.
I saw your hand. Okay.
I just wanted to, two things. The reason that there are now 5 commissioners on the MPO, there used to be 4, had to do with what Commissioner Hagan said. When the population of the county got to a certain point, there was a reapportionment done that that affected our representation. I don't recall that it was initiated by the board. I think it was initiated at the TPO itself based on population figures. And then the second thing I wanted to say is that it seems to me that this entire discussion is sort of irrelevant to the process, because anybody can make any motion they want on the first day of the organizational meeting, and if it gets a second and passes, then that's what it's going to be. So I don't think there's anything that we do here that wouldn't be affected by the actions of the board on the day of the choices.
Thank you. I mean, I'll just say that you are right in that I believe we said during the last discussion that we can always move to waive our policy. I mean, that's always an option. Commissioner Kemp?
Yeah, and I'll just say, in terms of the numbers of board people, on both the TPO, we have to do proportional. That's under the federal law in terms of population. So that's one of the dictates that kind of conflates a whole new issue in this. But that is true as well with HART in terms of our representation on HART dictated by actually statutory law. So that's a whole nother issue in terms of that this doesn't actually really address, but just clarifying.
Okay, so we have a substitute motion by Commissioner Willis, second Commissioner Owen, to approve the recommended changes from the review committee. No other comments? Please record your vote on the substitute motion.
Aye.
I think, Commissioner Cullen, this is a substitute motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nay. I apologize.
All right. Motion carried 5-2. Commissioners Cohen and Kemp voted no.
All right. Bonnie, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, we're adjourned.